Morning guys, we're back at it again with another video. Before we send this baby off to powder coat, I wanted to give you guys a full kind of walk around tour of the canopy and all the other modifications that I've done to this Tacoma here. So like I mentioned in the first video explaining some of the key features that I wanted for this was the ability to have a roof rack that can carry, very long material. We've got 7 feet from here to right about here. And then the front part of the rack is another 4 feet as well. So we've got 11 feet worth of support across the entire roof rack there. So I would say the longest piece of material that I could carry safely would be 16 feet, maybe 20, who knows. But one of the other really important things here, and this is to make my life easier and to make other lives easier as well, is that if you want to load this, you can load it from the side here with a forklift, drop the material, and then pull your forks out that way there. So that way I don't have to throw everything up there. So if there's some long, heavy pieces of lumber, we can at least get it up there and then get it secured. And one other really important thing for securing material is to have a way to actually strap it right to the roof here. So I installed some of these ratchet straps. I've got holes right here so I can just loop it around on itself and tie it straight right to here. And then I've got some holes on the other gussets there so that if you wanted to loop it all the way around something, you can do that as well. And then for like smaller material, say like, a few pieces of conduit or pipe, we can just use little bungee cords and stuff like that and use those existing holes. So then on either side of the canopy, we've got full-size doors here that have struts. So I set these at exactly the right height so that I can walk underneath this. I'm 6 foot and not ding my head off the corner here, which is already happened when I had them at a lower place. But this opens up the entire canopy, and then we've got a door also on the other side here as well. Hello. So what's great about this setup here is we've got full width across the entire canopy here. And then we can open up the back tailgate, and we've got a strut for the upper one here. And then the tailgate just has these tension latches, and then we can pull the tailgate down and completely opens up this entire canopy. So a really important feature of this truck is the ability to power your power tools or to charge batteries or anything like that right in the truck here. So we're going with the Blue Eddy AC 180 here, and I've got this fully charged up here. So we're gonna do some quick tests. These Blue Eddy units are absolutely great. It's got a large battery capacity of 1152 watt hours. So the best way that I kind of explain that to people is if you had something that runs on 1,000 watts, that would be 1 kilowatt hour. And this is 1.1 kilowatt hours. So something at 1,000 watts you could run for an entire hour. So we're gonna test out a few tools here in a second. The AC 180 has an inverter of 1800 watts, and then it can also surge up to 2700 watts as well. So with a unit like this, you've got flexibility in terms of how you get power back into it. With this setup here, I've got some 100 watt, very flat panels from Renogy. So we're gonna be installing 3 of those up on the roof here. I'm gonna do that after it's powder coated because I'm gonna be riveting it right to the roof. And this unit can take up to 500 watts of solar input. It can also take up to 1400 watts of AC input. So that would just be your regular 120 volt receptacle. So you can just plug it right into there and it'll charge from basically empty to about 80% in about 45 minutes. So if the solar option doesn't really work well for you or being able to plug it into the wall, another good option that you can do is actually just plug this unit into a cigarette lighter. So if you're driving long distances and you need to charge it up, then you can just charge it right up off your alternator. And it also comes with everything that you need just to plug in just some standard solar panels as well. So the first thing that we're gonna do just to kind of test out the capacity are charge some of these Makita 5 amp hour batteries. So I've already got the charger right up top here. And then I've also got some Milwaukee ones. So I already did the quick math. Each one of these batteries is about 90 watt hours. You could charge 12 of these batteries just with the battery storage that's on the AC 180 here. So you can see this battery charger is working somewhere between 500 to 600 watts here, and that it'll run at this for about 2.5 hours. So one of the awesome things that I wanted with this truck is to always have onboard compressed air. I don't use a lot of air tools anymore, but it's always just good to have compressed air for cleaning material off, for pumping up tires, for fixing someone else's flat tire. It can just be useful to have this. So we've got this empty, and we're gonna plug this in. And we can see here it's running just between 750, 800 watts here. And you'd be able to run that at an hour and 20 minutes or so right there.
Well, you should put an extension cord in your truck.
Well, I do have an extension cord.
Okay.
That's just coming a little bit later.
Do you have a spoolie for it?
I guess you'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet you got a spoolie and everything. Oh wait, it's under the truck. I saw it already. It's a retractable one, right?
Yeah.
Use your muscles.
So we've got our big chop saw here, and we'll saw some wood. See how the unit goes with this. So I did a little capacity test with the battery starting at 94%, and then cut this piece of 2x4 50 times with the chop saw, and it just went down to 88. And then playing around with the air compressor here, started out at about 87%. I played around with it and emptied it out twice and filled it back up, and it just went down to 83% by the end. So it's got lots of capacity. Nice with this unit, and something that I've experienced with other ones, is when you start something like this up, it can potentially trip the unit just because there's such a large surge of electricity that's needed to start the motor. So what's nice is you can hear it. It doesn't ramp up the same when I have it plugged into the wall, but it just ramps up a little bit slower so that it doesn't trip the unit. All right guys, so you've seen the AC180 unit in action here. If you'd like to learn more about this, I'll have a link down in the description box and also in the comment section. If you want to learn more about the AC180 and some of the other products that Bluetti has, they have much larger units, they have much smaller units, so they'll have a size that's going to be right for you. On this side of the truck here, we've got 3 pack-out mounts. So I made the internal height of the container here just enough so that I can fit 2 of these drawer units on top of each other. I've got like 6 of these, so I'd be able to fit all 6 in here. But the pack-out system, absolutely phenomenal for carrying your tools, and they've got so many different fun pack-outs like this one right here. We can take a look inside and, oh, look at this. Look at that, Coors Light.
Worst beer.
My parents left this here when they visited, and there's been 3 up there for the last month or so, but
I'll be shocked if you drink that.
then we got our handy Klein tools, bottle opener. So we've got our massive, beastly looking front bumper. So it's a do-it-yourself, well-together kit from Coastal Off-Road. They make really nice high clearance bumpers for a lot of older vehicles. So if you want to check them out, I would definitely recommend it because they've got some really cool options and skid plates that you can buy with it. But one of the main important features of this is what's going to be going on right here. So there's a spot right in here for a winch. So we've got our winch. I have made sure that it fits and all that kind of stuff, and I got the controller wired up in this side up here. So this is mainly for in case of emergency. So if I get stuck somewhere and I got to winch myself out, or if I got to get somebody else that's stuck somewhere, then we'll have this winch right on the front. So I ended up just making and fabricating my own rear bumper. One important thing that I wanted on this was to have some shackle points here right on the bumper, and also a center point one as well. So we'll be able to tow anything with this, just with a standard hitch receiver that I just welded in. And this is a piece of 2x4 by, I think, 1/4 inch. That was one of the last leftover pieces that I actually had from our deck. We've got it all nicely gusseted, so it should be extremely strong. And then I got a nice little spot here to mount the license plate. And while we're down here, something else that is going to be extremely handy for this truck is basically a recessed cord reel here. So when I'm fully finishing off the truck, this will be plugged into our Bluetti unit. And then we've got, basically, we got an extension cord, a 50-foot extension cord here that should lock into place.
You gotta pull it through.
There we go. Okay, so now we got a triple tap here so we can just easily hook up any of our power tools and stuff like that and run it 50 feet away from the truck. And it goes right back in. And then on the other side here, so that we can expand the use of our air compressor, is we've got a cord reel. This will be great if I need to do anything with it, right? We got compressed air. Man, what else can we do with this truck? Man, I can always just go for an ice cold Coors Light. So this rear truck bed here, this is all aluminum. So pretty well all the sheet on this truck is aluminum for weight. But what I did here was I got this, and this is a welding plate fixture that is supposed to go on the side of like one of those big 4x8 welding tables. But I thought, how awesome would it be if I had my own little fixture table right in the truck? So if I need to be able to fasten anything down, I can reuse all the existing fixture tools that I have for my Rhino cart, and I can use them right in the truck here. So if I ever want to do any remote welding, or even just having a way just to fully secure material. I'm also they also make a vise for this as well, so I might get that. And with how I made all this stuff in the back here is we've got removable tool trays. So if I want to expand and open up the work area here, just take these out. They just slide right into place, and then all these things can be removed in a matter of a few seconds here. So it just basically completely opens up this space.
How much would you charge me to build me one of these?
I don't know.
$50,000.
Mucho dinero. For any guys that are watching this and you're like, that's such a great design and I want somebody else, or I want to get something like this, just show this video to a fabricator. There's nothing overly complicated with this design or anything like that. The hardest part was really just the doors and the tailgate, and do it up.
It's not hard for you.
It wouldn't, I don't think it would be that hard to replicate something similar to this with someone's that is experienced with fabrication.
It would take me the rest of my life.
But also with this bed, it's it's just under 5 feet wide. So any material, plywood that's 4 feet wide, and I want to have it in the truck here. It's only 7 feet long, so I'd have to do something with the tailgate there. But we'd be able to fit pretty long and wide material in here, which is always really handy. But wait, there's more. So we've got this 270-degree awning. So what's going to be really cool with this is, in the matter of a few seconds here, we have got a full 270-degree awning. So in order to secure this, I've got a special compartment in the back here. We got a full 5 foot long drawer that's just under, just around 30 something inches wide. We can store shackles in here. I can put an axe, anything that I would need for, off-road recovery can all go right in here, because it's not something that I'm going to be using very often. But we've got our little strap up here, and then we can strap this guy right up. We have got
Shade.
Now we've got full shade all the way around the truck here. And if you're wondering, I put this at the correct height so it doesn't hit me in the head, and it doesn't run into this thing as well. So we can pop this guy up. And now we've got the perfect spot to continue enjoying our delicious Coors Light. Cheers. Last thing I didn't show you guys, and that's the rock sliders. Is this truck going to be going to places where, I'm really going to need rock sliders? Probably not. I'm not going to be taking this in extreme off-road places or anything like that. I just really like the look of the 4x4 off-road vehicles, and I just like the ability to go kind of anywhere and to have that flexibility that I know if I'm going to be getting into a spicy spot or anything like that, I've got the tools on board to be able to get myself there. So that was really one of the main things that I really wanted with this truck, is to be able to go anywhere and do anything. So overall, this was a very kind of challenging build. I don't do automotive type stuff very often, so there was a bit of a learning curve with the different kind of automotive things and automotive features that you kind of have to take into account when you're working on a vehicle like this. But overall, I think I did a pretty damn good job. I'm really excited to get this completely finished off, show you guys the full look of it with everything completely finished. Can't wait for it. Hannah is sick and tired of me talking about this thing, so I can't talk to her about the truck anymore.
That's not true.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next video. Talk to you soon. Peace.